Well, obviously, the victims in this case are delighted with the outcome, but they were particularly uh, relieved of being able to tell their story and have people make a decision about what they had to say. It's been a very traumatic experience for all three ladies, and they've all made victims' statements over the weekend, confirming that that ordeal added to the distress of the whole situation that they had to put up with. Has maintained his innocence from the first time the police spoke to him and throughout the proceedings. And the way he put his case through his barrister to the witnesses was that they were lying. And as the judge emphasised in relation to one of the witnesses, that she was party to a large-scale conspiracy to discredit him, which the judge dismissed totally out of hand as being um, without foundation.
And it was very clear that he felt he was above any form of retribution because of his position. This was very much an abuse of power.
It was an abuse of power in the sense that he knew people would not complain. And some of that's because of the time and the era in which these incidents happened, but also because of his position, both in employment and in the council, and as a key public figure. He thought, and as the judge said, he believed he was above the law, and no one would believe these victims when they came forward.
You mentioned these were historic incidents between 15 and 25 years ago. Do you feel today's sentencing, today's case, will encourage other potential victims to come forward in 2021?
I think that's the important message in all of these cases, that people will come forward when the time is right for them, and the police and all the other agencies, including the CPS and the courts, will do their best to support those complainants through the process of providing their account, investigating it thoroughly, and if the case goes to court, through the court process. And as you heard, this case got delayed partly because of the need for a trial, but also because of the impact of the COVID restrictions last year. And that took its toll on our complainants as well.
For you personally, what does the outcome from this case, what kind of message does it send?
The message is clear that people will be supported and a jury will be trusted with the evidence to make a decision that is supported by that evidence. And as one of the complainants said in her victim statement, she trusted the jury to come to the right decision. And I think that's a compelling account from someone who had to go through the ordeal of giving evidence and being cross-examined in a trial. She trusted the jury to make the right decision. And as the judge said, this was a strong case that he faced.
And it also shows just because an incident is historic, that doesn't mean it can't be discussed in a court of law today, does it?
Absolutely not. And the courts have many of these non-recent complaints that we deal with, and each complaint will be investigated. And where the evidence supports charges, we will put those charges before the court. It's a case of people coming forward when the time is right for them and they feel able, through their own personal circumstances, to actually make their complaint and then feel supported through that process. And there are lots of measures that we have put in place to make sure that that process is as supportive as possible for people to actually take that big step of coming forward.